let's move to the Michigan defense. Go ahead and kick us off. What were your thoughts on the defense?
Well, this is the first time we saw them roll out, the 3-4. I was pleased to see that Aiden Hutchinson was able to, make an impact, and he didn't seem like he was uncomfortable standing up. That was a concern. Taking a traditional 4-3 defense, your best player on defense, taking him, majority of his life, being in a 3-point stance and having him stand up and, see, can he still be very impactful? Does he look comfortable? And as you brought up earlier, he's had many quarterback pressures. He did a really good job. I thought Mike Morris a couple of times, one of the interior linemen was blowing stuff up. That's what you want to see from your interior lineman, man. Dominate the line of scrimmage, push the offensive line back, and if you can, penetrate and cross tackle for loss. And I thought he looked really good there. Josh Ross was flying around the field. I feel like he was in Ellerby's face like multiple times today. I thought the corners, like Green and Gray, still a work in progress. There a couple times.
I definitely thought they struggled early, but came on after I think early on, especially like the first 2 and 3 drives, like that's still the time in a football game where emotion is still very much so a fabric in what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
And I think Western initially had the emotion, like the Big House, from everything that I could see, was just nuts. But I do think that Western had that emotion of like, we could beat them, blah, blah, blah. Like you have that hype like early on. And I thought Western did really well with it early on in the first few drives on offense. And then things kind of settled down a bit for Michigan. And they made adjustments to where, they switched things up a little bit on defense and were definitely more effective after that.
Yeah, and Daxton Hill, he continues to show that, he's legit, he's legit 5-star kid. I mean, he's everywhere. And I love how they line up in so many different positions around the field. Sometimes he's playing safety. Sometimes I think I've seen him at nickel. I've seen him line up all around the field. And it's really a good sign when one of your most athletic players, every time there's a pile up, you see the number 30. Right. And I saw him making plays all around the field. I saw him making plays in the passing game. I saw him making plays in run support. So he continues to show that he's an impact player in the secondary. You're going to need a guy like that. He's fast. He covers a lot of ground. Great closing speed. So, I thought there was, like I said, things were a little bit shaky. I still don't quite know schematically how much different we're going to, besides our formation 3-4. We'll see over time how we adjust compared to how Don Brown used to adjust his defense. But today was a good start because, Western Michigan, especially offensively, is no slouch. They were third, I believe, in scoring in the country last year. And Ellerby proved that he's a good quarterback. So I don't think it was a nothing. I thought they proved something today. And, I think it's worth saying, okay, I think the defense may be ready to go into next week, and I could feel somewhat comfortable that, they learned something today, right?
Well, in the thing that I look at is we talked about it on our last live that we did together when we did our kind of season preview, is you talked about how, traditionally just kind of the Jim Harbaugh teams, get punched in the mouth, and how do they respond, And that's what I think about with the defense, because Western's first drive out, they went down, scored, and it was a really good drive too. It was they just were methodical, moving the ball down the field. They go down and score, and then after that, they don't score again. You know what I mean? Like just for context, I get it. Yes, they scored 7 points with like 3 minutes left. That was backups, and
it's garbage time.
It's on the scoreboard, but I don't really count that.
Yeah.
So essentially, you go from they score on their first drive to, okay, we come out, we make adjustments, we know what they want to do. Here's how they're scheming us up. Let's make this adjustment, and then all right, guys, go out and play. And I thought they did a great job of that. Because that's a difficult thing to do. Like, it'd be easy to panic, and like just you know what I mean. Everything goes out the window. Like okay, well we're just gonna man up and we're just, you know, like they didn't do that. They you know okay, here's what we came out to do. Here's how they're attacking us. Here's how we adjust, and let's move forward and let your guys go out and play ball. And I thought I thought the defense did a really good job. And like I said, I can't say enough about Aiden Hutchinson. That dude was he was a terror for Western Michigan. He was an absolute nightmare for them. You know, really after that first drive, and really on the first drive as well. I mean, he was from the first snap to the last one that he played. He was a nightmare.
Yeah, all over the field. You know, a great a captain. I think his teammates really respond to him. You know, I really liked how when his teammates make a play, like Mike Morris made a play, and he's like hyping them up. You know, he's like pointing to him. You know, like people may overlook that, but that's like, no, hey, look at my guy right here. Look what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's pointing out for the coaches. He's pointing out for the world. Like, you know, like it's not just about me. It's about us. You know, and that's a small thing, but that says a lot about him as a player and a person.
What were your thoughts on the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that Michigan got early on? It was 55. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I have to look it up. But yeah, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, that was an iffy call.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, you know, like it's the first game of the season. You see it in every game, even the better teams around the country. You're gonna see it tonight. You know, Clemson versus Georgia. Guys are gonna make silly mistakes. Those are mental mistakes, right? And you can't help if a ref makes a good or bad call. But what you can do is be as disciplined as possible, right? And like you said, once again, that's earlier in the game. Energy is really, really high. First game of the season. Guys have to find a way to reel themselves down a little bit. And so I think it's iffy call, but, you know, it points to, you know, you got to be more disciplined and avoid those situations as much as possible.
Yeah, it was something, but I didn't think it was enough to warrant a flag. I'm like,
No.
you'd like to not, you know, have it happen, but I'm like, to me, like you said, this is, come on, first game in the big house. Like it, you know, it was electric.
Last year, you know,
exactly.
Got fans. It's packed. You know, it's yeah. I mean,
that to me, that should have warranted a warning. Like you know, right. The ref go up to him like, hey, big fella, cut it. You know, relax. You know, chill. And just keep it moving. Like I just didn't think all of that was necessary.
Right.
You know, as far as to throw a flag on them, but you know, kind of is what it is. I don't know.